Well, a day after MPD identified Eliza Fletcher's body, police are continuing to investigate leads in the case, including new surveillance video that Action News 5's Stephanie obtained from the apartment complex where suspect the Henderson's brother lived. Stephanie.
Hello, and welcome back to True Crime Continent. Thank you, as always, for joining us today. If you're new to the show, welcome. We're glad to have you here. If this episode resonates with you, please consider subscribing to ensure you never miss an upload. Today, we bring you a case guaranteed to ignite a profound sense of outrage. The sheer injustice of it is difficult to articulate. We will be detailing the horrific murder of Eliza Fletcher, a woman described by all who knew her as truly remarkable. Her story is a stark illustration of systemic failure, a series of oversights and neglected responsibilities that ultimately led to an entirely preventable tragedy. The details of how the system failed Eliza are deeply unsettling. While this program frequently examines cases where victims are failed by the very systems meant to protect them, Eliza's case stands out due to its profound preventability. Eliza was a mother, a teacher, and a beacon of joy and value to her community. In recent years, there has been a significant and heartbreaking increase in discussions surrounding the dangers women face while running outdoors. Tragic incidents often occur when women are simply engaging in exercise and enjoying public spaces. Eliza was a serious runner, meticulously training for the Boston Marathon, a significant personal achievement for any athlete. Her dedication to running was a core part of her active lifestyle. It was during one of these routine training runs that her life was brutally cut short. The suddenness and violence of her abduction, while she was simply focused on her run, is unimaginable. This case highlights a pervasive fear for many women. While we certainly do not intend for this story to deter anyone from the many benefits and joys of outdoor exercise, it is crucial to acknowledge the harsh reality of the world we inhabit. The depth of cruelty displayed in this crime, especially against someone as inherently kind as Eliza, remains incomprehensible. Before we delve into the comprehensive details of this case, we must first understand the woman at its center, Eliza Fletcher. Eliza Woolford, known affectionately as Liza, was born on November 9, 1987, in Memphis, Tennessee, to her parents, Adele and James Woolford. She grew up in Memphis with her brother, Gil. Her early education began at St. Mary's Episcopal, an all-girls school, followed by Hutchinson, another all-girls college preparatory school. Here, Eliza excelled academically and athletically. She was a particularly dedicated and talented soccer player, continuing her sport at the University of Memphis, where she was part of a championship-winning team in her sophomore year. Her coach offered a poignant description of Eliza, stating, "It might sound cliché, but she literally always had a smile on her face. Even when I would have to get on her, she still had a smile on her face." That's just who she was. As a soccer player, she was very athletic and had track-like speed. She was just a worker. She always looked at things as the glass being half full, not half empty. Her attitude was infectious. After attending the University of Memphis, Eliza transferred to Baylor University, earning a degree in sports and exercise science. She then pursued her master's degree in teaching from Belmont University, embarking on a career as a kindergarten teacher and soccer coach at Promise Academy. Most recently, she held a junior kindergarten teaching position at St. Mary's Episcopal, the very same school she attended as a child, a meaningful return to her roots. Eliza was universally regarded as an extraordinary teacher, deeply passionate about education and the well-being of children. She tirelessly worked to ignite her students' enthusiasm for learning. Many described her as possessing a childlike spirit, an energy that made her exceptionally effective in the classroom. Her patience and kindness were legendary. A close friend shared that Eliza drew inspiration from her own childhood struggles with reading to better assist her students. Her home, a testament to her dedication, was adorned with artwork created by her students. She embodied the spirit of a truly caring educator. During remote learning in 2020, Eliza would even create videos for her students, including a heartwarming rendition of "This Little Light of Mine." A chilling detail about Eliza was her interest in true crime. She enjoyed listening to true crime podcasts such as Crime Junkie and Tom Brown's Body during her runs. In 2020, She even sought recommendations for other true crime podcasts on social media. The tragic irony that just 2 years later, she would become the devastating subject of her own national crime story is not lost on us. This brings us to Friday, September 2nd, 2022. 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher left her home at 4:00 a.m. for a run. This early start was part of her Boston Marathon training, allowing her to maximize time with her sons before they woke. Her planned 8-mile route regularly took her through areas of the University of Memphis campus, a familiar and routine part of her training. However, Eliza never returned home. Her husband, Richard, familiar with her running schedule, grew increasingly concerned when she did not return. By 7:45 a.m., he had reported her missing to the police. In this instance, unlike many others, law enforcement reacted with immediate seriousness, launching a rapid search. Within hours, a significant discovery was made. Around 6:45 a.m., a biker near the college campus found a severely shattered cell phone. Investigators quickly confirmed it belonged to Eliza. The damaged phone was an ominous sign, suggesting a struggle. Alongside the phone, a water bottle and a pair of men's Champion slide sandals were found, all immediately sent for expedited DNA testing. A heavy police presence canvassed the area, conducting door-to-door inquiries. This swift, comprehensive response underscores the potential effectiveness of immediate, urgent investigation. Investigators quickly secured surveillance footage from a nearby camera, which revealed the horrifying details of Eliza's abduction. While the full footage was not released publicly, a description was provided. At 4:20 a.m., just 20 minutes after leaving her home, Eliza was captured jogging along Central Avenue near the intersection of Zach Curlin Street. A dark-colored 2013 GMC Terrain drove past her, pulled over, and waited. A man then exited the vehicle, ran toward Eliza, and after a brief struggle, overpowered her, forcing her into the car. The vehicle then reportedly remained parked for approximately 4 minutes with Eliza inside before driving away. The details of those 4 minutes remain unknown, but the malevolent intent is clear. The same GMC Terrain had been seen driving in the area roughly 24 minutes before the abduction, indicating the perpetrator was actively seeking a victim. Remarkably, all of this critical information, including the identification of the vehicle and a description of the abduction, was established by 9:00 a.m., just over an hour after Richard reported Eliza missing. The Memphis Police Department immediately issued a citywide alert, releasing photos of Eliza and the GMC Terrain. Local media quickly disseminated this information. Although the vehicle image wasn't perfectly clear and the license plate was only partially visible, a distinct broken taillight aided in its identification. An alert was also sent to University of Memphis students, informing them of the abduction. While there had been recent reports of harassment targeting the women's cross-country team, authorities later confirmed no connection to Eliza's case. Crucially, multiple law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and the TBI, became involved almost immediately, a level of rapid collaboration that is unfortunately not always seen in missing persons cases. This swift multi-agency response proved vital. As the investigation unfolded, public attention surged across social media. While public engagement can be invaluable in such cases, it also brings rampant speculation. Richard, Eliza's husband, became an immediate target of unsubstantiated rumors, with some suggesting his involvement due to supposed financial motives or an alleged affair. Distressing comparisons were drawn to high-profile cases like Chris Watts and Brian Laundrie. Richard, already grappling with the terrifying disappearance of his wife and mother of his young children, faced baseless accusations. Thankfully, these damaging rumors were short-lived as concrete answers emerged swiftly. Just 1 day later, on September 3 RD, the DNA results from the Champion sandals yielded a match in Cody's to Cleatha Henderson, a convicted felon. Henderson also used the last name Abston, possibly his mother's maiden name. Further surveillance footage showed him wearing the same sandals days before the abduction. Investigators discovered Henderson worked for a cleaning service. His boss confirmed he drove a GMC Terrain and had been at a local movie theater, where footage showed him in the sandals. Though the vehicle was registered to a woman, a connection to Henderson was established. Crucially, his cell phone data placed him in the immediate vicinity of the abduction site at the time it occurred. Given the overwhelming evidence, Henderson became the prime suspect, prompting an urgent search. On the same day, September 3rd, U.S. Marshals located the GMC Terrain parked outside an apartment complex. It bore the damaged taillight and matched the partial license plate from the surveillance footage. Henderson attempted to flee, but was quickly apprehended. He was initially charged with aggravated kidnapping, tampering with evidence, theft, identity theft, and fraudulent use of a credit card, held on a $500,000 bond. The additional charges were not directly related to Eliza's disappearance, but stemmed from Henderson's prior criminal activity. The same movie theater surveillance that captured him in the Champion slides also showed him stealing an employee's wallet. Instead of returning it, he embarked on a shopping spree, spending over $900. This demonstrates a pattern of criminal behavior predating Eliza's abduction. Following his arrest, neighbors at his brother's apartment complex spoke out about Henderson's unsettling behavior. One neighbor reported that he offered her $100 for sex, and when refused, made the same proposition to her 20-year-old niece. She described him as creepy and a pervert. Henderson's mother, however, reportedly expressed disbelief in his guilt, claiming he was being railroaded, a common denial in such cases. Henderson's criminal history is extensive, dating back to when he was just 11 years old. Between 1995 and 2000, he was arrested 16 times. At 14, he was arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a man and also faced charges for theft, aggravated assault, and unlawful possession of a weapon. He was reportedly a gang member, known as Pookie. At 16, on May 24, 2000, Henderson and an accomplice kidnapped Memphis attorney Keir Durand at gunpoint. They forced Durand into the trunk of his own car, driving around for hours before taking him to an ATM to withdraw money. Fortunately, Durand managed to scream for help, leading to their eventual apprehension. Henderson pleaded guilty. Durand's victim impact statement reflected his deep fear, stating, "It is quite likely that I would have been killed had I not escaped." Durand was fortunate to survive. Disturbingly, Durand worked as a defense attorney for Lewis Thomason, the same law firm where Liza's uncle was employed. No connection between these facts was ever established. Henderson showed no signs of remorse or rehabilitation during his incarceration. He received a 24-year sentence for the abduction, yet accumulated 19 incidents of indecent exposure while in prison. Despite this, he was released early in 2020 due to sentencing credits for good behavior, just 2 years before Eliza's abduction. The agonizing truth is that if Henderson had served his full sentence, Eliza Fletcher would likely still be alive today. This early release represents a profound failure of the justice system. Despite Henderson's arrest, Eliza's fate remained unknown. He refused to cooperate, offering no information about her whereabouts, leaving her family desperate for answers. On the day of his arrest, her family issued a statement and offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to her safe return. A vigil was held at her church, with the community uniting in prayer. Even with Henderson incarcerated, some persisted in their baseless accusations against Richard, arguing his public display of grief was a performance. While most online commentators eventually retracted their claims and apologized, this period highlighted the damaging impact of premature public speculation on grieving families. Search efforts continued with unwavering dedication. Teams meticulously scoured dumpsters, ponds, and parks, utilizing dogs, ATVs, and even a helicopter. These efforts led investigators to Henderson's brother, Mario, who proved instrumental. Mario revealed that Cleotha had visited his home the day before Liza's abduction, behaving unusually. Surveillance footage corroborated this, showing Henderson cleaning the interior of his car for over an hour, just hours after Eliza was taken. Mario also reported Henderson washing his clothes in the sink. Although a search of Mario's apartment yielded no evidence related to Eliza, Mario was arrested on separate charges including intent to manufacture and sell fentanyl and heroin and possession of a firearm. The area around Mario's apartment, however, was not a complete dead end. Cell phone data from the day of the abduction showed Henderson was at an intersection less than a mile from Mario's residence. Focusing their search there, officers observed tire tracks near an abandoned house and detected a strong smell of decay. This led to the heartbreaking discovery around 5:00 p.m. on Monday, September 5th, just 3 days after her abduction and only 7 miles from the initial site. Eliza Fletcher's body was found in tall grass near a set of steps behind the vacant home. Purple Lululemon running shorts, consistent with what Eliza was wearing, were found in a trash bag approximately a quarter mile from her body. An autopsy conducted at the West Tennessee Regional Forensic Center determined Eliza died from a gunshot wound to the back of the head. She also suffered multiple jaw fractures and injuries to her right leg. Whether she was sexually assaulted could not be definitively determined. Fentanyl was found in her system, though its duration in her body was unknown. Given her active lifestyle and character, the recreational use of fentanyl prior to her abduction is highly improbable. The following day, Henderson's charges were upgraded to include first-degree murder and first-degree murder in perpetration of kidnapping, and his bond was revoked. Law enforcement confirmed that the GMC terrain was seen in the area where Eliza's body was found shortly after the abduction, further linking Henderson to the crime scene. The news of Eliza's death, announced on September 6th, devastated her family and the entire Memphis community. The worst fears had materialized. Eliza's school faculty and staff lit candles in her honor, offering counseling and chaplain support to students. The school collectively honored her by reading The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie McKessie, using an excerpt in their official statement. "We don't know about tomorrow," said the horse. "All we need to know is that we love each other." A makeshift memorial quickly grew at the abandoned home where she was found, demonstrating the outpouring of community support. The pain in Memphis deepened that week as Eliza's murder was followed by another unrelated, shocking act of violence. On September 7th, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly embarked on a day-long shooting spree, resulting in the deaths of 3 people and injuries to 3 others, committing 2 carjackings and live-streaming parts of his actions on Facebook. The victims of this spree included 24-year-old Dwayne Tunstall, a father and aspiring food truck owner, 62-year-old Richard Clark, a beloved correctional officer and security guard, and 38-year-old Allison Parker, a medical assistant and mother of 3, whose eldest daughter was tragically with her during the shooting. The collective trauma inflicted on the Memphis community during this period was immense. Amidst the profound grief, glimmers of hope and community spirit emerged. A significant reason for sharing Eliza's story today is the extraordinary way her community rallied to honor her memory. Her loved ones channeled their grief into action, creating "Let's Finish Eliza's Run." A Facebook page was established, and exactly 1 week after her life was taken, over 2,000 people gathered to complete her planned run. This inspirational event, born from fresh sorrow, aimed to honor Eliza and provide a collective space for healing. Their Facebook page stated, "Our goal is to stand up for the women in the Mid-South and emphasize that women should be able to safely run any time of the day." The tragedy understandably intensified fears within the running community, a fear that already existed but was amplified by Eliza's case. Unfortunately, this also brought out instances of victim blaming. A professor at Harding University posted a reprehensible statement on Facebook, suggesting Eliza was at fault for running alone at 4 a.m., and even implying her husband should have been more forceful in preventing her. This offensive post was later deleted and an apology issued, but the sentiment behind it, shifting blame from the perpetrator to the victim, is a persistent societal problem. Eliza's death was not a failure on her part or her husband's. It was a catastrophic failure of the killer and, in a broader sense, of societal attitudes. Participants in Let's Finish Eliza's Run actively countered this narrative. At 4:20 a.m. on September 9th, people gathered to run 8.2 miles, the exact distance Eliza intended to run. The Memphis Police Department provided support by blocking traffic on Central Avenue, ensuring the runner's safety. The route followed Eliza's planned path, with many stopping along the way to leave flowers or pay respects. One runner noted feeling safest on the University of Memphis campus. A chilling thought given Eliza's abduction occurred there. The event drew not only runners but also community members who lined the path, cheering, holding candles, and singing "This Little Light of Mine," the song Eliza sang to her students. Reporters present heard sentiments like "people were running for those who can't," and that Eliza could have been any one of the women gathered there. The impact extended beyond Memphis, with "Let's Finish Eliza's Run" events held in towns across the country. A high school cross-country team in Vicksburg, Mississippi, dedicated a race to Eliza, wearing bright pink headbands in her honor. The day after the run, Eliza's funeral was held at Second Presbyterian Church, attended by over 300 people. A choir performed hymns, including a moving rendition of "This Little Light of Mine." In her obituary, Eliza's family requested memorials be made to the Eliza Fletcher Memorial Fund at St. Mary's Episcopal School, Christ Methodist Day School, and Second Presbyterian Church, ensuring her legacy of giving back to the community continued. While the community mourned, another brave victim, Eliza Franklin, came forward. A year before Eliza's murder, Eliza accused Cleotha Henderson of rape. Her story is crucial for understanding the systemic failures at play. Eliza met Cleo on the dating app Plenty of Fish. They arranged to meet at an apartment complex where he claimed to be a maintenance worker. Upon arrival, Eliza realized the apartment appeared vacant. Henderson, who actually lived there with his girlfriend and her children, the same complex where he would later be arrested for Eliza's murder, put a gun to her throat, threatening to kill her if she resisted. He then forced a t-shirt over her head, led her to his car, and assaulted her in the back seat. Horrifically, Eliza was 4 months pregnant at the time, and her pleas for him to stop were ignored. Eliza demonstrated immense courage in seeking justice. She drove herself to the hospital, where she received a sexual assault kit and spoke to authorities, providing a detailed account, including Henderson's name, dating profile, phone number, car description, and the crime scene location. She even accompanied officers back to the apartment complex. Despite this, officers failed to collect physical evidence from the scene. They conducted a photo lineup using a photo of Henderson that was over 10 years old, making identification impossible. They promised a more updated photo lineup, which never materialized. Despite Eliza providing all necessary information for a swift investigation, her case was not taken seriously. For months, she diligently called the police for updates, only to be met with dismissal. In a later interview, she stated, "I was just an average black girl in the city of Memphis." Her profound observation points to a deeply troubling truth. Cases involving women of color are often not prioritized, leading to delays and inaction. This discriminatory treatment is dehumanizing to victims and allows dangerous individuals like Henderson to continue offending. In Eliza's case, her rape kit sat in storage for 10 months. Had it been processed within a reasonable time frame, the evidence needed to arrest Henderson would have been available. The kit was finally tested in June 2022, but the results were not returned until September 5th, 3 days after Eliza Fletcher was killed. The stark contrast in urgency, DNA from the champion sandal in Eliza's case processed in 24 hours versus a rape kit sitting for 10 months, is undeniable. If Eliza's case had been treated with the same priority, Henderson would have been incarcerated, and Eliza would be alive. It wasn't until September 9th, 2022, that Henderson was finally charged with aggravated rape and aggravated kidnapping in connection with Eliza Franklin's assault. The gross mishandling of her case is sickening. Eliza, with immense resolve, filed a lawsuit against the city of Memphis, alleging negligence. Shockingly, the city moved to dismiss the suit, claiming they did not owe a duty to Miss Franklin to investigate her rape. They further argued that imposing such a duty would infringe upon the Memphis Police's constitutional rights regarding the allocation of limited resources. In 2023, the judge agreed, and Eliza's lawsuit was dismissed. Despite this setback, Eliza's bravery led to a trial against Henderson for her assault. In April 2024, after a 3-day trial where the defense made offensive accusations, the jury found Cleotha Henderson guilty. He was sentenced to 40 years for aggravated rape, 20 years for kidnapping, and 20 years for possessing a firearm as a convicted felon, all to be served consecutively. Eliza's assault was not an isolated incident. Henderson was a suspect in 4 other crimes: robbery, embezzlement, and identity fraud, between July 2021 and September 2022. The justice system ultimately recognized Henderson for the monster he is. On January 25, 2023, he was indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and tampering with evidence in Eliza's case. He initially pleaded not guilty. His trial was set for late 2024, but the district attorney announced plans to seek the death penalty. Faced with this prospect, Henderson changed his plea to guilty, accepting a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Eliza's family supported this agreement. In October 2024, Cleatha Henderson officially pleaded guilty to Eliza's murder and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. During the hearing, he remained expressionless, showing no remorse, a chilling testament to his evil. Eliza's family attended every hearing. They released a powerful statement through the DA regarding Henderson. "We have no idea what happened to you to turn you into someone so filled with the desire to hurt people. Whatever it was, it does not excuse or explain what you have done. You have changed our lives forever, and nothing will ever be the same. You murdered Liza even though she did nothing to deserve it. She did not hurt you. In fact, she would have been the first to help if you needed it." This last sentiment underscores Eliza's compassionate nature. Eliza's case, tragically, is not unique. In the years leading up to her murder, similar incidents occurred. Wendy Martinez, 2018, fatally stabbed while jogging in Washington, D.C. Molly Tibbetts, 2018, abducted and murdered while running in Iowa. Sydney Sutherland, 2020, abducted and murdered while running in Arkansas. These incidents, alongside the racially motivated murder of Ahmaud Arbery, 2020, while he was jogging in Georgia, highlight the pervasive threat. Statistics underscore this grim reality. A 2023 Adidas survey of 9,000 runners found that 38% of self-identifying female runners experienced physical or verbal abuse while running. A 2019 Stop Street Harassment survey reported 68% of women experienced harassment in public spaces. A 2021 Runner's World study showed 47% of female runners carry phones for safety, 15% wear baggy clothes to avoid unwanted attention, and 37% limit their runs to daylight hours. While these statistics can be alarming, it is crucial to also highlight organizations actively working to improve safety for runners. Trailblaze Hers, an inclusive running group in Boston, empowers women to feel safe while running in neighborhoods. They host events like Take Back the Night and the Bra Run to promote safety in numbers and comfort in public. Girl Trek is a national movement encouraging Black women to walk and run for health and safety in their communities. Rising Hearts, an Indigenous-led organization, has the Running with Purpose Collective, intertwining advocacy and passion for running, with founder Jordan Daniel sharing safety tips for female runners. Community-led initiatives like these are vital in fostering safer environments for runners. Resources for these organizations will be linked in the description. Part of Eliza's enduring legacy is the ongoing discussion about runner safety and the actions prompted by her death. Let's Finish Eliza's Run continues to be held every few years, a beautiful testament to collective healing. Organizers noted that the first run was about grief, while subsequent events shifted towards healing, emphasizing, "Some days are a little harder than others, but every day is a day forward." The University of Memphis received $5 million in funding to enhance campus security measures after Eliza's abduction. The government also took further action. A newly elected Shelby County Commissioner launched Shine Blight, a nod to this little light of mine, using blight to refer to deteriorated areas, a $100,000 project to clean neglected areas similar to where Eliza was found. Eliza's case, alongside Alicia Franklin's, illuminated the severe problem of untested rape kits. Weeks after Eliza's murder, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee and legislative leaders announced accelerated funding to hire 25 additional forensic lab workers statewide. Under pressure, the TBI committed to hiring 50 more forensic employees, offering overtime, keeping labs open on weekends, and outsourcing kits to private labs to address staffing shortages and speed up testing. While a nationwide effort is needed, this is a crucial start. Tennessee also passed a law requiring the TBI to release quarterly reports on kit testing times. Since late 2022, The TBI's turnaround time for testing has reduced from 44 weeks to 27 weeks, with a goal of 8 to 12 weeks. Progress, though slow, is happening. The case also brought scrutiny to early prisoner release decisions. Despite 53 prison infractions, Cleatha Henderson was released years before his original sentence due to good behavior credits. Families Against Mandatory Minimums and People for Enforcement of Rape Laws jointly urged Governor Bill Lee to investigate untested kits and Henderson's release. In May 2023, a bill was passed to create a board that would determine eligibility for sentencing credits and review existing ones. The stark reality remains: if Henderson had served his full sentence, Eliza Fletcher would still be with her family, teaching her students, and the truth of Alicia's assault would have surfaced sooner, preventing his release entirely. This represents a profound, incomprehensible systemic failure. The Memphis community continues to carry Eliza's legacy forward beautifully. In 2023, her alma mater, the Hutchinson School, established the inaugural Eliza Welford Fletcher No. 5 Award. Instead of retiring her soccer jersey number, they now award it to a junior player at the end of the season to wear during their senior year. The award recognizes a player who embodies the ideals of Hutchinson athletics that Liza so beautifully demonstrated, striving for athletic excellence, character, integrity, and leadership. The University of Memphis announced plans to build the Eliza Welford Fletcher Stadium, a state-of-the-art soccer and track field complex, a testament to her athletic passion. Phase 1 is estimated to cost $7 million. Link to project page in description. St. Mary's Episcopal School also plans to build Liza's library, with a tree designed to honor her love for the outdoors. Eliza meant so much to so many. Her smile radiated happiness, energy, and comfort. Her husband, children, parents, brother, extended family, friends, students, school families, fellow teachers, and church community were all deeply touched by her faith, kindness, and compassion. This entire case, including Alicia's story, is profoundly unsettling. These random, senseless acts of violence and the evil that exists among us are terrifying and difficult to comprehend. Yet Liza's light, often described as a little light, truly seemed to shine with immense brilliance. The world needs more people like her, especially more teachers like her. Her loss is devastating and unnecessary. Her kindness, good intentions, and care for future generations leave a void that is difficult to recover from. Our hearts go out to everyone who knew and loved her and must live without her radiant presence. That will conclude our episode for today. We encourage your thoughts on this case and the issues discussed. Especially, we would like to hear from runners, how these cases impact you, and any safety tips you may have. Our intention is never to heighten fear, but to foster awareness. We hope to see you back next week as we explore another case. Until then, stay safe,